Hey everyone, good to see you. It's been a long time, huh? Ever since like maybe last night, like really early this morning, maybe. Yeah, well, today or tonight, I thought we would talk Squatch. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think it's a really good idea to talk about Bigfoot tonight. Um, I got a few pictures I want to share. I kind of want to go over some stuff that probably all you guys have seen, you know, a lot of different times. But first, I want to say hi, Renee and Connie and Javier. What's up? And Protean. You guys all looking good, of course. Looking real good. Yeah, so I thought I would start off tonight talking about Squatch, talking about technology. I think that the Bigfoot or the Sasquatch, I think they're pretty safe as far as um, anyone, you know, finding them out or whatever you want to call it. Oh, I can move that out of the way. Huh? Yeah, there we go. I really believe that they're safe, but I also believe that technology is catching up with them. In fact, I know that if I had a certain uh, piece of equipment, that I probably could find a Bigfoot in 24 hours or less and get him on camera, recorded, and he could be 20 miles away and he would not know that I have him on camera. At least I don't think he could know. And a long time ago, we did this one show. It was called Chasing UFOs. And they brought out this piece of equipment to find where the triangle crashed. And it had all this real high tech stuff in it. And I got to sit in it for a couple of nights. And it was off the hook. The guy even used the camera and zoomed in on a truck that was probably about 6 miles away. And he zoomed in where we were looking inside the truck. We could actually see the people inside the truck. And I was amazed. And not only that, but it had Google Earth overlapped. So it on one monitor, it had the actual camera look of what we're looking at. And then the other monitor showed where the truck was on Google Earth, and it showed the actual how far in the range and everything that the camera was seeing. And I mean, it was really interesting. And I don't know if all of you remember watching Chasing UFOs or not, but they had that on there. But only I have pictures inside and out of this thing. I'm only going to share one, tonight, because I have a few pictures to share. And I want to say hey to Bolt Gun and Barbara. How are you guys? Okay, so this is the actual piece of equipment that I'm talking about right here. It's called the FLIR truck, and it was like a big huge RV. In fact, it had a bed in it, and then up over the cab it had like a well, not like it had a bed for the guy that drove it around, or if it was going to be camped out all night long. And then we're looking at, like, on the side that we're looking at was some big recliners, like movie style recliners. You could go in and kick back and have drinks, and it had drink holders. And then on the opposite wall where we're looking is where it had a desk with big monitors on it and all the controls for those cameras that are sticking up out of the top of it that you can see right there. And I think that if we had one of those, it wouldn't be long and we would have really good evidence of Bigfoot. The only thing is, I don't think any of us have the money to buy something like that. It is massive, big, and just one of the cameras on the top is worth $400,000 or $500,000. Just one of them, and there, I think there was 6 on there, different kinds. Hey, Jesus, what's up, man? I see you in chat, and so if we had one of those, Bigfoot wouldn't be safe. Now, I'm going to jump to things that Bigfoot leave, like evidence of pictures and stuff that I have, that I believe that sometimes Bigfoot doesn't know he's leaving things. You know what I mean? They leave evidence, and I don't think they're cognitive of the fact that they're leaving something of their self. Hi, Connie. How are you? So I want to go way back when, where it all started for me and Jeff doing the shows. And I have like a ton of pictures, but one picture had a DNA on it, and we actually had the DNA tested and everything. And this is what I'm going to show right here. That is the back window of Jeff's truck. And a lot of people, when they see it, they don't see anything. But if you really look at it, you can see its actual face, shoulder, and part of its chest. And where the side of its nose and mouth and chin and even part of its ear touched the truck. Now, on the front window, all it left was a nose and lips with some snot rolling down, because it wasn't safety or security glass. So it didn't have to press its whole face up against the glass to be able to see inside the truck. Now on the back window, you could actually see where it didn't know to shield its eyes to look into the glass, so it stuck its whole face onto the glass. You could see the shoulder down on the right corner, the ball of the shoulder, and then part of the chest in the center, bottom center. And then the face is up at the top, and you can see that white area is the eye. And you could actually see the eye didn't actually touch the glass, but the eye, the skin around the eye did, and part of the nose and the lip and the chin. And if you look on the left side of the window on the frame, you could actually see the knuckle print where it actually put its knuckles onto the truck. And what you can't see is there's a thumbprint also on the silver part on the door. And I don't know if I know you guys can't see my mouse, but you can see the face really good at this angle. And a lot of people, even no matter how much you point it out, they can't see it. But if you start off on the right side of the picture, looking at the ball of the shoulder, that's the shoulder part. And then you can see the chest down low part of the window. And then you go up and you're starting into the face where there's the chin and then the mouth and part of the cheek, then the eye. You can see the part of the nose. And it didn't press the top part of its head on there. That is only just half of its face trying to see inside the truck. So it just pressed its whole face up there and was looking inside the truck while the other one was actually looking through the front window, but all it did was touch its lips and nose and got snot all over. So we were actually to get DNA off of that. It came back unknown. And the second time it came back with human, and they thought we had, actually the first time with human too, and they thought we contaminated it. So we redid it again, and it came back with human again, only this time it wasn't pure human. It had some unknown DNA with the human. So if you took it as a whole, it was the whole amount. It was unknown DNA. It didn't match with anything's DNA really. So I think that's a really interesting picture right there. I don't know if a lot of people have seen that. Hey Sam Squatch, how are you? How you doing? But that isn't all that thing that left. This Bigfoot, there was 5 ice chests in the back of this truck full of food, lunch meat, pastries, fried chicken, barbecued tri-tip roast, and all kinds of stuff to last for 4 days for about 8 guys. None of it was touched. Not one thing. Now, if a bear was there, those ice chests would have been tore up and all over the place. In fact, if you notice, let me go back to that window again. If you notice, there's a gap in the top of the window. It's about an inch or inch and a half gap in the window. The window is broken. It wouldn't roll all the way up. If that was a bear and he wanted in there, and normally they do, they would grab that window right there with their claw, and they would have popped that window right out, and that bear would have been in there. That whole truck would have been destroyed if it was bears. And they had 2 straight days to do it. So it would have been totally destroyed for sure. Now, when you talk Bigfoot's been around a long, long time, and there's all kinds of evidence. And people say, well, there's not a lot of evidence of it everywhere. And I beg to differ. There's pictures that are around for at least 700 years old, like this painting on the rock. That is, they estimate 700 to 1,000 years ago that was painted on that rock, and that's a big Bigfoot right there. And it actually has a whole family, and I could have showed all the pictures, but what I wanted to make the point of is Bigfoot has been around for a long, long time. Longer than Patty, the little Patty film. That right there is the real deal. And it's old, real old. So to say that there's no evidence of Bigfoot, that people are crazy. And if I would have had that truck, if I could have that truck, I could go get some evidence, right now evidence, because the truck is awesome and it has all kinds of technology. They use it on the border. The immigration uses it on the border. They have these little portable ones, and that cost like $600,000 on a little tripod, like a little tripod thing, and they set it right on top of the mountain. It has a little solar panel on it. It's got Wi-Fi. The guys can sit in their car and operate this thing and see anything 20 miles away, can frame a human. So just imagine, and night or day, just imagine what you could do with it if you're out Bigfoot hunting, especially now that Bigfoot is running around in the valley floor. And I have some pictures here that were taken only maybe 5 miles from my house, maybe less, in an orange orchard. And so that means this is the weird thing for me, is Bigfoot is running around all over. They're getting closer and closer to people all over the valley. I would bet up and down the San Joaquin Valley, everywhere there's a river, Bigfoot are following the green areas down into the valley where there's food. There's peaches, there's plums, there's oranges, there's lemons, there's tangerines, there's almonds, nuts, pecans, blueberries, strawberries. I mean, you name it. We have it growing in the Central Valley, and that's evidence right there. That was taken in the wintertime. That is a huge foot. Nobody's running around in the fog, in the cold, in the night, and putting tracks out like that. So if I could have a FLIR truck, I could go to these areas where I know they are, like where Javier is camping, going out, and we could find these things. So thought I would share that little bit of information. Don't tell me he's hearing screams and howls of a Bigfoot, right? That doesn't surprise me at all. Hey, orangutan. I hope I'm not butchering that. Hi, Jan. How are you? Seeing everybody coming in. So is it like screaming all night long? The whole valley is evacuated, I think. In fact, I went on last night where it says the video. I should have said prayers for people, but I put fires everywhere, fires. That's the whole video that I made last night, was all about praying about the people that are in the way of the fires, the people that are evacuating, the people that have family that died, people that are in the hospital, people that are losing their homes, and also the fire people that are going out and putting themselves out there in danger to protect houses and our woods. Loads of wood knocking. Wow, that's cool, man. Dang, too bad we couldn't go in there. That would be so cool to go in with. He should tell him to get his recorder, use his phone, his cell phone, like a sound recorder, and just set it on record and get some recordings of the knocking. That would be cool. How are you, Amanda? Good to see you. Yeah, so Bigfoot is all over the place. It's like every state, Oklahoma, Texas, Kentucky, Colorado, Alaska. There's only a few places that I wouldn't know where it is at, but it is in a lot of states in the main, I guess you would say, contiguous state, or however you say it, in the mainland. Bigfoot's all over the place. Ohio, Indiana, and lots of dogman sightings now. How's it going, Bobby? How are you? Yeah, that's so cool, man. Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, and I really don't have any more pictures. I didn't load any more pictures. That's about all I had. I thought I would share that much. I probably could share. Let me see. There is something else I could share. I'm not sure if I could add it to this image or not, but I have some more. When I have more time I just added this new studio. It's called Streamlabs OBS, and they call it lovingly Slobs. And I'm learning it right now. That's why I thought I would put some pictures up. I would have put a whole bunch more. There's a way to make a slideshow, and I think that's how I want to do it, instead of making a whole separate thing for each picture and having to do it like that. And I could just click through and do it like a slideshow. I would love that a lot better, I think. And I thought about, I have thought about Bigfoot in the fires. That Jeffrey put up a picture that shows, I think it was last year, there was a fireman. It was when we were still doing shows together. It showed a fireman out on a fire, and he put his big old boot, looked like a size 13 work boot, right next to a big old huge Bigfoot track that was running right through where the fire had been, and you could see it clear as day. I'm hoping a lot of them don't get caught in the fires. I know the way they're burning and the way the wind is blowing. I mean, pray the wind dies down. It makes it so much easier for these guys to get control of the fires. Well, thank you, Bobby. Anytime, man. Anytime. I love you guys, every last single one of you. The ones that go in chat and the ones that don't make it in chat. I think it's great that you guys are watching. And I enjoy sharing the things that I find and learn. Why, thank you, Amanda. Wow, that is so generous. Yeah, some of the people I know in Redding have lost. I have some friends up there. They already lost their house. There's 3 already that lost their house up there. I know Bigfoot's all over the place over there, and I feel so bad. I know they got most of their things out, but they're mostly going to be starting over. An orange. I never seen an orange one. The red ones. Now I heard of red ones, red Bigfoots, but who knows? I heard of all different colors: white, silver, silver gray, silver gray with white fur underneath. All kinds of all kinds of all kinds of different kinds of Bigfoot. But I wished I would have put more of this up, of this truck, because I think it's that technology right there that is going to be the make it, break it, end all Bigfoot evidence breaking rig right there. If a few of those were, and you know what's really funny is that truck actually comes from Oregon. That's where they made it. That's where the main office is. And you would think that when it was on its downtime, those guys would be out sitting on top of a mountain somewhere, searching valleys and clear cuts. You would just think they would. You know, I would. I played in that thing for a whole night. It was so cool. That thing could even look for UFOs. It can look for heat signatures. In fact, that's why when the right to the side of it, a triangle crashed on the side of the hill, and that's why they were here. And they brought that truck, and supposedly that truck could look at the ground with a certain kind of camera, and it could pick up anomalies even a year old, where even if it's overgrown with grass and bushes and stuff, it could show an anomaly that would be a year old and find where the crash was. It was, so I think that right there is the Bigfoot getter right there. Anything running around the woods we don't know about, that right there is, that's it right there. That's going to be the one that gets us. Hey, Roland, how are you? Let me get back to my main scene here. How are you guys? Yeah, so I told my wife I'm not going to stay on too long. I was up all night messing around, making all those videos. I'm getting pretty good at the editor. It took me, I just barely, I tried out like 3 different editing software. Did anyone contact me about some loud bangs? No, I haven't heard of any loud bangs. There's been so much going on. I haven't really checked my email either. I'm trying to break into, I have an old email account and I found something out. I had a original Gmail account and it has a bunch of pictures in it of Bigfoot stuff that I have. And I've had it ever since like 2001, something like that, when Google barely was hardly anything, just a search engine, but you could get an email with it. And I lost the password. And I had it all the way up until around 2012. And I had my cell phone that I had with the casino was the contact number. Only when I left the casino, I rolled the window down and I airmailed it to him as I was leaving. It was like, oh, I still have the phone. I rolled the window down, out went the phone, and then I didn't carry a phone for like 5 years after that. I'm still not good with phones. A lot of people get mad at me. Only the phone was my boon. Yeah, get called. Every time I would make it into bed and fall asleep, the phone would ring and I had to go back to the casino and I had to answer it all the time. I was on salary, so they didn't care when they called me or how long I was there. So I got to hating phones then. And I still kind of have that now. When I hear it ring, it's like, I really hate phones. And I know a lot of people, they're attached. They might as well just glue it to their hand because everybody I see is stuck with their, like this all the time. And that's not me. But I found something out about Google. If you, like, I still have the recovery email account and all the security questions, I know what they are. They're easy answers. But just because I can't remember the phone number and get a text on that phone, even though I could have they could send me the code in another email and give me a code number and I could type it in. After I push enter, it says, that's not enough to say that's my account. Even though that account has the same picture as the one I'm using right now. Go figure. It's almost impossible to recover an account if you don't do it right. So a little bit of heads up on people for you guys on Gmail accounts. Make sure your phone number is updated and it's the one that if your hard drive breaks or anything happens where you forget your password or anything like that, make sure that the phone and your email that you use as a backup email are all correct. Otherwise, you just lost that account and you can't get in it. And you can't call Google. You can't email Google. You can't Pony Express Google. You can't snail mail Google. You can't even telegraph Google. There is no contact whatsoever with Google. Or it's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. I spent all day messing with that, trying to, and all I was trying to do is get these old photos. I have some cool old photos, and I can't get them, and it really drives me nuts because there's some that it would blow everybody away, and I got those before the internet was really a big thing, and I never really had I never really wanted to share them before, and I wouldn't share them on the other show. But now that I'm doing my own thing, I would share them, and now I can't get them. And man, it tears me up that I can't. See, I'm old school too, and cell phones weren't included. You know, I even remember when there was party lines. You guys remember that one? I would sneak my finger under the little button and then pick the phone up and then slowly release it so I could hear the neighbors' conversations. Everybody had the same phone number, like 5 different households. And now I'm giving away my age, boy. I'll tell you that much. So, I spent the rest of the yesterday, all day yesterday, pretty much editing the video of Redinger Lake. All kinds of, that's like Bigfoot land. It's also, that is the winter area for the deer population. So in the winter, it is loaded with deer and probably loaded with Bigfoot too. In the summer, right now, they're all higher up in the high country, exactly where I saw Bigfoot, in that area, right outside of Yosemite National Park on the eastern boundary. And then they go down, and the lake in that video, those lakes, they in river areas, they cross in the winter and then in the spring. So in the winter they go down and they cross that, and they spend their winter down in there where I'm standing up there and I'm panoraming the whole other side of Redinger Lake, overlooking it and looking at the whole side. That's the winter range. And I found a long time ago, 90s, 80s and 90s, that the Bigfoot followed the deer down there. And I could find Bigfoot sign anytime a year, just by going to where I know where the deer are in their migration. And I would do that all the time, and I never really thought to cast castings or anything. I just thought it was cool that I could take my friends over and show them tracks and broken branches and stuff like that way up in the trees, and also hear them, like he was talking about hollering, and at night they snap big huge giant limbs and they beat on the trees and stuff. And I thought it was kind of cool. Now I want to get evidence, not because I want to collect it, but because I want to share with everyone that Bigfoot's real. And not because I want to protect him either. I don't think he needs protection from me or you or anybody, really. The only thing he needs protection from is that truck right there, or any technology like that truck that can bust him from far, far away. Ha, I remember that. We used to do the same thing. Same thing. We would use tape and tape the transceiver button down. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, so Friday night, is anybody out squatching like right now and talking on their phone, or is it just us hanging out tonight, Friday night? Nothing to do. Thought we'd do something. I actually last night thought today was going to be Saturday. That's how lost I am. But so I went out, and Adolf and I went out, and we went all around that Redinger Lake, Kirchhoff. We almost went the lake higher up called Mammoth Pool, where there's all kinds of sightings and screams all night long at Mammoth Pool. And Adolf had he had a big heavy magnet, I mean a real heavy one, and he had an idea of a place that had a creek with a lot of sand, and he was going to throw that out into the creek and then just pull it back and hope that it would pick up flakes of gold with the iron. I don't know what you call it, iron pyrite or whatever they call that stuff, but it's black, and the magnets pick it up out of the sand, and usually it falls down deep with the gold. So if it got trapped in that, he would be pulling gold flakes up. And we never found that spot. So we went all over the place, even though I did find one sign that said Bigfoot crossing. And that I was jazzed, real jazzed, because I know Bigfoots do cross through there twice a year. Right now they're higher up. At least the ones in that area, they're higher up if they're following the deer. But I also know there's some that stay in the lower foothills, and they're smaller than the big ones. The big ones are way up high, and the smaller ones down low. They kind of like live in the lower lands. Those are the ones running around in the valley too, following the rivers and stuff. Wow, cool, man. I was just talking to Baron von Strauss, Kev. We're talking about doing an overnight up there at maybe Sawmill Flats or Black Rock Lake. A lot of activity over there, Black Rock Lake. Going back like decades, people hiding and leaving their camping gears, all kinds of stories of it over there. And we're thinking about we're making plans to do one night up at Black Rock and stay all night. I'm sure that Bigfoot's been killed. I'm sure of it. Probably more than once. I think the government has them. Just like in Oregon. I don't know if I probably should tell you guys that story. I don't know how many of you guys know. When I lived in Oregon, we lived in Ashland, Oregon. And my wife's parents, my in-laws, they lived in Klamath Falls, Oregon. And I wasn't really I didn't really like Klamath Falls. It has this really weird feeling to it that I don't like. And it kind of like Fresno has that same feeling. Even though I live here, I still feel that it has like a weird or something weird. And in Klamath Falls, there's a lot of UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, all up and down the Klamath River. UFOs flying along the river from Oregon down, following the Klamath River out to the ocean. I think that's what the Bigfoots do too. But there's like a weird thing going on over there. Yeah, it is scary when they yell, especially whenever you can feel it inside of you. It is. But one time we went hunting over there, and so we lived in Ashland, and me and my wife decided we were going to cruise over the day before and then spend the night with them and then leave the next day to go deer hunting with them. So in the afternoon, we packed everything up, and it was only an hour drive to go over the mountain and into Klamath Falls from Ashland, Oregon. And we got there, and it was still daylight, and we chatted and unpacked our stuff and packed it into what we were going to go deer hunting in. I'm actually doing really well. How's it going, Viper? I'm doing a lot better, so much better. I've been taking different meds, and I have a patch they gave me for pain. It's helping a lot. So I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I can't hike. There's a lot of stuff I can't do, but it doesn't mean that I'm not, messed up real bad like I was. I was pretty jacked up there for a little while. I do need to go to the dentist though, really bad. The meds I take, one of the side effects is dries out your mouth all the time, and it's ruining my teeth. No matter how bad you take care of your teeth, if your mouth is dry all the time, it messes your teeth up. So, kind of messes with me there. But we got into Klamath Falls, and they said, "Hey, how's it going, El Shepherd and Magnificent? How are you guys?" We decided we're gonna have dinner in Klamath Falls that night, and then go back to their house, outside of Klamath Falls, up in the hills. And as we were driving into Klamath Falls, from the direction we were going, it kind of goes up this hill like this. So you could see most of Klamath Falls because it's like a slight incline up. And we were watching as it looked like whole sections of town were losing power. And it would be off 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then it would come back on, and another section would go off. So the mother-in-law turned the AM radio on and to the news, and they were reporting a UFO over Klamath Falls. And they were claiming that the UFO was what was shutting the power off. And that we thought that was interesting, and we laughed about it. And I back then I didn't really believe in anything. This is like maybe a year before Mount St. Helens blew up. I don't 1981, somewhere in there, early 80s. And we got to the restaurant that they wanted to eat at, and we got in and sat down and grabbed the menu, and the light went out. All the lights, and it was dark in there. And this guy has a little flashlight, and he runs around, and there's little candles on the table, and he lit all the candles. And about the time that he got all the candles lit, the lights came on. So he went around, he was blowing the candles out and taking people's orders. And about the time he got to the last candle, the lights went out. And he happened to be at our table, and we started laughing, and he wasn't laughing. And he started lighting the candles, and about the time he got all the way around and got all the candles lit, the lights came on. And he set the candle down. He's like, "That's it. Just leave the candles lit." Because everybody was going to help him blow him out this time, right? Instead of him going around. And the lights went in and off and on probably 3 more times. So we thought that was pretty good. And then we listened to the news on the way back about how this UFO had been messing with the power grid in Klamath Falls. And that, I didn't really think anything of it, really. And the next morning we got up and packed up the rest of the things that we needed to go deer hunting for 3 days. And we drove through Klamath Falls into the Cascades, like halfway between, or actually just above Klamath Lake. And I would say we were on the east side of Klamath Lake, up on the ridge there in the Cascades. We set up our tents in a row, and we were in really thick trees, nice, beautiful area, made it a big campfire. We sat out there and ate dinner and went to bed. And sometime around 2 or 3 in the morning, I wake up and I'm laying there looking at the stars and thinking, wow. And it was kind of like partly cloudy. And I could see the stars and I could see the clouds moving by. And it was kind of mist on the clouds were kind of rolling over the top of the hill. And it was a little bit like mist. And I realized that if we stayed exposed like that everything was going to get wet in the tent from these clouds like fog rolling by. And then it dawned on me, like, wait a minute, I'm in a tent. I'm supposed to be in a tent. And it really freaked me out because there was no tent. There was the floor of the tent, but everything else was gone. And I woke my wife up. I'm like, hey, we need to get in your mom's tent. And she's like, why? And I said, look at the stars. She goes, oh, look, it's so pretty out tonight. I told her, we're in a tent. And she wasn't awake all the way yet, just like I was. And then when it dawned on her, like, whoa, so we rolled our bags up really quick and we went and got in her mom's tent, and we slept the rest of the night in her mom's tent. And we got up in the morning early, and the first thing I did was go looking for my tent, the rest of my tent. The floor was still there, and so was the things I left in the tent on the floor of the tent. They were still there. The tent floor was staked down, but everything else was gone. No ropes, no poles, no tent. And as everybody was getting up, they helped me. We did these circles all the way, and we kept getting wider and wider for several hundred yards. And after a little while, it was like if the tent was going to be around there, it would have been caught in a bush or a tree or something. There was no way that it was just totally gone, but it was totally gone. And we were freaking out a little. That caused me to be unnerved, probably for the rest of the day. But we decided that we were going to go ahead and deer hunt. And we had this idea that me and the father-in-law were going to go ahead of everyone, get in the tree stand, and then everyone was going to give us a little bit of a head start. And then they were going to spread out over the hill and then push all the deer by us. And that's the plan, was going to do that twice a day. And everyone was going to take turns in the deer stand, pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to get a deer. And we would start at different sides of the hill and push the deer towards the deer stand. Well, we were up there. We saw some deer. We didn't see anything legal. And as everybody went by, we realized we weren't going to see anything else, climbed out of the tree, went back to the camp, and the mother-in-law was throwing stuff in the car, and she was leaving, and she said she saw a Bigfoot like 6 feet away from her. And we laughed and made fun, and she'll deny it to this day. She talked about it then, but she'll deny it to this day. Maybe she doesn't remember now. I don't know. But I remember very well. We made fun of her. And she doesn't like being made fun of. We made fun of her all the time. Jokes, jokes, jokes. Her husband likes to make jokes, and so do I, and it is fun. So we did, and we were hoping for breakfast. There was no breakfast. We were leaving, and we were supposed to stay a couple days. About that time, the father-in-law's brother shows up. He was on the crew that was helped push the people towards us, the deer towards us. And he just started grabbing stuff and throwing it in the truck, exactly how the mother-in-law was doing. No real packing, just chucking it in. Chuck. Let's get out of here. About that time, the father-in-law says to his brother, like, what's up, man? Did you see a Bigfoot? He's like, no, a UFO. And he laughed, and I was at first not going to laugh because I already lost my tent. And that's what I was kind of thinking did it. But only it was too funny. We all started laughing, and we all left. We left. So I don't know what happened to my tent. And when later, when we were home, finally, his brother was telling us that he walked around, pushed the deer past us, and then he went on to the side to the top of the ridge where he could see down the canyon. And he said he noticed that this UFO had come over him, treetop level, and was going down the hillside, treetop level, So pretty soon he could see the top of the UFO. And then it stopped. And he was sitting there staring at it like, wow, that is so amazing. And then it was like he thought that it saw him, and it started moving back up the hill towards him. And that's when he freaked out and ran all the way back to the camp. He thought it was chasing him. So he ran all the way and started checking everything in his car. So that was like my first paranormal woods thing that was like verifiable, kind of like with other people. I had lots of other things happen to me when I was by myself, but you don't have anybody to say that was happened. But that's the biggest one that ever happened to me. And now I even wonder, like, did I lose time, or did me and my wife lose time? Did something happen when the tent disappeared? And will we ever know? That part always was in the back of my mind. Ban Renee? Renee's here every week. Where's Renee? I don't see Renee. Hey, Ed, how are you? I see somebody saying, hey, Ed, hey. Yeah, that was so spooky. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me since. Also, I mean, before that and since, but that was like that one really you'll never forget. It's almost like seeing your first Bigfoot. You don't ever forget those really off the wall, weird things, You never will. It might have been an alien, Chaka. I remember that show. I used to watch it every Saturday morning. How you doing, Ed? Well, I don't think Bigfoot's an experiment of man's, and this is why. I'll show you why I think it's not. This is why I don't think that Bigfoot is an experiment of today. Maybe the wolf dogs, but only the wolf dog stories go way back too. That drawing right there is estimated the youngest at 700 years, and they think it's more like 1,000 years old. That drawing right there. What do they call it? A petroglyph or something like that. So if it was an experiment of man's, then how did they get that on that rock 1,000 years ago? And there's actually a whole family painted on that rock. I'm not showing those pictures. Geoglyph, something like that. But if it was a modern thing, then where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Just like this one right here. I know some of you guys didn't see this. They're coming into our area. This is 5 miles from my house in an orange grove, not in the mountains. It's maybe 7 miles from the mountains. This is in the valley floor in an orange grove around 5 miles from my house. This picture was taken, or these two pictures right here. And that's a huge track right there, huge. And you could see where it stepped on the drip line, and you could actually see in the casting where that messed up the footprint in the cast. So you could see the heel, you could see where the drip line messed up the casting, and then you could see the toes real good. And it's huge. And that's 5 miles from my house. That was at the end of November when that was taken. So there was we were running around in coats, and it was foggy, freezing cold. And here's this fresh track in the orange groves. And according to the guy's foot that you see right there, that's Bigfoot Joe. According to him, there was 5 of them. and all we could find really was one track. So they're coming closer in the town. And I actually believe that all you people, everybody that is within hearing distance of my voice can go out and find Bigfoot or evidence of Bigfoot. I don't care where you live. All you have to do is find all the things they need: water and food and cover. You find those three things in your area, and you found where Bigfoot could be. And it has to have a connection to like a national park or parks or forest land. Like it has to have a creek coming out of the mountains or something. But it has to have a way to get to, out of the area. But it doesn't mean they don't hang there for a while. Like they'll find little areas, 5 acres, 3 acres, 2 acre, a pond, little wild area in a town, and they'll hang out right there all night, or no, all day. And then at night they run around full cover of darkness and do all kinds of stuff, and people see them. Like I've been getting reports of these things in the night around orchards for a long time. I just didn't believe it. That I thought people were seeing things like Shadow Man or something like. I didn't think they were seeing Bigfoot, all everywhere. I really didn't. Only time has proved me wrong, and so is the evidence proving me wrong. Hey, Brown Dwarf, how are you? How you doing, man? I'm going to go Bigfooting on the beach with you. I bet it's nice and cool up there. I recommend being armed. They're not afraid of guns. We carry, every time we go out, we're up in the hills, not down in the valley, but when we go up in the hills to the spot where this picture was taken, if we go up to the spot, we go armed. Everybody has a 44 Magnum. They're not afraid of it. They come around us, they hoot and holler, they throw things. They're not afraid of guns. They're more afraid of lights than they are guns. They will get the heck out of Dodge. Cameras and lights. That will make them get away from you. But a gun, they're like Superman, They'll stand right there and take it. But that right there is the spot. And can you see his face and his shoulders and his eye and his mouth, and you can see like the ball of his shoulder on the right side of the picture, and his chest. And then you can see his chin. You could actually see the knuckle print on the door frame on the left side of the window. That's an interesting picture right there. Actually, no, we actually got the pictures of the Bigfoots where we were doing the fruit. That was by Dinky Creek. And we spent 2 years over by Dinky Creek. A ton of sightings over there. Hunters have been reporting to, even before I was with Jeff, started doing the show with Jeff. I had people telling me about Dinky Creek for years before that. And also that's one of the place where Kev wants to go and spend the night at Sawmill Flats or Black Rock Lake. I've been hearing stories for 25, 30 years coming out of those areas. About since the time I seen Bigfoot and I started telling people that I saw Bigfoot, everybody would laugh, but every once in a while somebody would say, they would pull me to the side. They wouldn't say it in front of everyone, but they would pull me to the side and say, hey, you need to go check out this area over here. So over the years, you hear about certain areas a lot, like Dinky Creek, a lot, Ross Crossing, a lot, Mammoth Pool, a lot, Huntington, a lot, Shaver, just all through the years, over and over and over, you hear these places. So And then the one place where, like I was talking about the last week, where Jeff had that guest on, where the guy went out with the girl and she disappeared. The same year that I saw my very first Bigfoot encounter, the same year that my 7th grade teacher disappeared, all within maybe a 9-mile circle in the same year. That blew me away. And when you look up reports on BFRO, there's none. That's what's weird. Why? You look up Dinky Creek, Huntington, all around the other areas, there's lots of them. But there isn't any in the Madera County. There's one, the one I put. That's the only one. Yeah, that's where we got the pics of the Bigfoot in the background. I actually have all those on my computer. I saved everything because at the time Jeff didn't have a computer. Everything was done through my computer. We did his whole show on my computer. So yeah, I have everything on my computer, and I think he was wanting me to delete it, but I'm not going to. I'm in all those. I think it's kind of being irrational to make me erase things that is my memories too. I mean, he could take away just because his name is on it doesn't mean that I'm not part of it. It's my memories too. I was there for every last single part of it. So why would I get rid of it? Like, that's ridiculous. And I'm not going to get rid of it. I won't make it public. I mean, he wants me to keep it not public. I'll keep it not public, but I'm not getting rid of it. That's ridiculous. I feel like I have as much to do with where he is than he has of where he is. Like, if I didn't bring my computer there every week for 6 years, every weekend to do his show, there wouldn't have been no show. So and did all that stuff. So I feel like I did just as much as he did. I put in just as much time and effort. I maybe not spent as much money as he did, but I put in a lot of effort and time and equipment and resources that I had. Everything that I had, I was all in. So I don't make as much money as him, but I was all in as much as him. Mentally, everything, I was all in. Everything I had. So to go and say I have to erase everything and get rid of everything and then like disassociate myself from it like I never did it, like, forget it. He could forget that. It'll never happen. I mean, we could still be friends, but it never happened that I'm gonna just forget it like I never was a part of it. I mean, I was right there when we were doing Art Bell, right there all the whole time, every show, Art Bell. We did Art Bell for 3 years. All those times I was right there. All the times we went out to the spot, I was right there. When we were collecting the DNA, I was right there. When we were getting the DNA tested, I was standing right there. I was watching them do. I have pictures and videos of the actual testing of the DNA at the where we were testing it at. And I brought my own camera and took all the pictures and everything. So, like, I feel like I'm just as much a part of it as he is. Like, maybe he owns me because maybe I was trademarked into that, right? I don't know. It's just a question. Yeah. Yeah, I wish him well. Like, I don't wish bad on anyone. Otherwise, I wouldn't have helped him all that time. I volunteered. Nobody put a gun to my head. I mean, he didn't offer me a payroll or anything like that. I did it because I like helping people succeed. In fact, when I was in the casino and I made it all the way up to the top, and I didn't do it by hurting people, stepping on people. I realized that it took a team of people to do anything in a very large way. So sharing is all part of it. Sharing the limelight, sharing. I mean, you can't go and say, I pulled off the biggest car giveaway in history and say you did it all. But what about all the security guards that were parking the cars and keeping everybody safe? What about the dishwasher that washed all the dishes? What about the guy that was running around cleaning the ashtrays and keeping the toilets clean? And the drink girls running around passing out drinks to everybody? And the cage employees making sure that everybody was able to cash in their tickets. And I mean, it took everyone working like a team to make it successful. And that's how I seen Paranormal Central. Is I always wanted to build a team of people that, like, I would love to do that with what I'm doing right now. I would love to put a team of people together that has expertise that I don't have, and put together a team of people, and we could do so much more than one person. Only I'm barely getting myself going here. But wait, give it a little time. All the people that want to be a part of it will come to me. That they'll want to be a part of it, and I'm not going to turn them away like Jeff does. They're afraid somebody's going to take his idea or copy something or whatever. I would rather have us all working like a big team. I don't mind sharing everything. I'll stand in the back and let everybody else take credit. I really don't care. When the job gets done and it gets done really right, then let the light shine and give everybody a pat on the back and kudos and divide up the spoils. I mean, come on. That's what I'm about. I was that way with Jeff. I would get frustrated because it was always just me and him, and he was afraid we're not telling anybody who we're going to have on the show until the last 15 minutes. We're not going to say where we're going. We're not giving away our area. We're not giving away. We're not sharing. And then the one that got me the most, we're saving the best stuff for TV. We're not going to talk about it. That is saved for TV. And then go on the internet and say, I have all this really cool stuff, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm saving it for TV. I would sit there and go, what? Don't tell them that. They want to know now. And that's not fair. That's not cool. Maybe I should shut up before I get myself in trouble. But I mean, that's just how I feel. And the truth be known, that's how I feel. And he doesn't hold back when he wants to tell his truth. And I like the guy. I want him to be successful. I think he means well in everything. And I know he works hard. And I know he's all in and all that. But I just don't like the way that his road is, that the road he takes to get there. And I stuck in there for a long time and kept my mouth shut too. And I probably shouldn't have. But I felt like if I just help him a little bit more, a little bit of a boost, a little bit more, we'll get him to that level. I didn't care if we're on a cable show or anything like that. I was perfectly fine with stepping out of the limelight and moving right back behind the camera. Honest to goodness. I do my best work behind the camera, actually. I know everybody was praying for him. Everybody was praying for him. I was praying for him. In fact, I still do, believe it or not. I pray for all you guys too. I pray for everybody's health and quality of life. I want everybody to be healthy and live life to the fullest and be able to. So I pray that for everyone. And even the ones I don't know, that I don't see, if you're hearing this, that's how I pray. Anyone that hears this video or watches this video, whether they're in live chat or not, even if they're just sitting in the room and somebody else is watching it and hearing it, I pray that person too. I want it to be all the way, all humans really. Like let's get real. Oh man, you missed it all. What's up, Chris? Thank you. I take all prayers because they work. I accept all prayers. They work. In fact, I now that we have a whole bunch of people in chat, I have no idea how many. Um, let's all remember the firefighters. Let's pray for them. And let's pray for all the people that are losing their homes or having to evacuate and worried about if they're losing their homes. Let's pray for the people that lost a loved one to the fires. Let's really share this video too so that people can hear this part of the video that we need to pray, and share that other one too, the fires everywhere, fires. I'll put prayers for the fire people on it or something. I want people to really, we need to pray. The fires are all over the place. They're even in Greece. They're all over the place, all over the world. People are being threatened by fires. And we can pray, and we could be the change that might turn the course on that. And yeah, rain, less wind, and stuff like that. So I just want to see everybody pray like there's no tomorrow, because there's people losing everything as we're sitting here talking right now. They're under an evacuation, and some people's houses are burning right now. Right now. And that bothers me. I was doing that video with, I call it the Ferguson moon, because our moon, when it first goes up, it's a full moon. It's really orange, almost like a blood moon. And it's beautiful, so I'm videotaping it, and I kept getting out a little bit late, and it was not quite as orange as when it first goes through the smoke, but it gets higher in the sky and it's out of the smoke, so it's more the color of the moon. It still has a little orange tint, but when it's really low to the ground, rising, it's real orange. And I told everybody last night, I promise I won't put another moon video up, even though I was having fun doing it. I think it's beautiful. But as I was editing that, and I put the title Ferguson Moon, I realized that's the fire that's burning Yosemite. And they have the whole Yosemite Valley right now are evacuated. And there's people that I grew up with all around there, El Portal, Mariposa. They're losing their homes. Some of them are burnt already. And it started dawning on me, I'm looking at this moon thinking it's the most beautiful thing, and it's associated with something that's not so cool. It's threatening lives, it's taking people's livelihoods, it's burning people's memories. They're going to have to start over. And I thought, oh man. So around 1:30 in the morning, I went live, and I was calling for prayer, call to prayer for all the people that are in the way of the fire or putting themselves in the way of the fire. And so I before I close out tonight, I want to make sure that we all at least take a minute, even if you don't believe in prayer, like pray to God or anything, you believe in sending, visualizing light on everyone, do it. You send good thoughts to everybody, do it. Do whatever. Nothing is wrong with that. So all positive, everything, go that way, to helping these people. Oh man, Renee, I will pray for you. Leukemia sucks, but I pray that you will be healed. Oh man, don't say that. You're not going to die and pass away. I pray you won't die and pass away. I pray life abundantly on you, Renee. Life abundantly on every person in chat right now. Life abundantly. No matter what you're facing, life abundantly. In Jesus' name. Yeah, that's blood cancer. It's a shame though. I know how it feels when you get that thing the doctor tells you that you can't be cured. Like I have a disease. It was like being killed. They were telling me I'll never walk again. I'll be in pain, the highest known pain to man, forever with no cure. None, no cure whatsoever. They don't know what to do. I'll be in a wheelchair. Now I have 4 heart stents in my heart. I mean, I was this close. I was a walking dead man, and they put 4 heart stents in me. I mean, I'm living on borrowed time. I died once already and came back. I'm living on borrowed time. I think really we all are. Any minute, your whole circumstance can change. I think that's what hit me with the fires thing. Like everything, life is good, and then somebody runs around, sets a fire, and then all of a sudden you lose everything and you're starting over, and you may even lose your life if you weren't listening to the news. Just so you won't get out. You get surrounded by fire and you won't be able to get out. I mean, anything could happen in a moment and change everything that you know. So never take everything for granted. Always be in prayer that God watches over you and is lighting your path always. And God is good always. Even if you die, he's good. Because when you get over there, you find out life is more abundant than it is here. Everything is on steroids over there. It's ridiculously good. Yes, you can. You're right, El Shepherd. That's like people with diabetes. If they manage their self, they can live a long time too. If they don't live a long time. They start falling apart, like literally losing things, appendages, legs, arms, feet. But I think that's one of the coolest things about YouTube to me, especially this YouTube that I started. You guys are the best. I love you guys. You're absolutely the best people on earth. And more are coming, and I never met. God is sending everybody, I mean, I don't know, karma, I guess. Just people are just coming in, and good people, not a bazillion trolls and cussing and all that kind of stuff. I think it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, this place seems more fake than heaven. Heaven is so real, it is. You travel at the speed of thought. There's no pain. I went from absolute agony in a split second, a blink of an eye. I was traveling at the speed of thought and experiencing things that were out of this world. Literally out of this world. I can't even explain it. That's the only way I could explain it. I could see it in my mind and everything, but how do I explain that? It's like not very easy. It's out of this world. That's my best explanation. Hi, Winner. How are you? Well, I'm about to go somewhere. You have like just a few minutes and I gotta go. I promised I would help my wife. We are still unpacking. In fact, we went through a whole bunch of boxes. I didn't realize how much Bigfoot stuff I have. Neither did she, because I stashed it away. I put it all in a box and stashed it away. Well, as we were remodeling, we stashed all the boxes. We stashed all the boxes in the living room, and they were piling up. And so she wants to get it out of the bedroom. She also wants to clear out the living room and then start putting it in here. So now on the other side of the camera that you can't see, you kind of see behind me a little bit. I have some things stacked against the wall, but all around me over this way, I got boxes and tubs sitting around, stacked around the walls. And every bit of it is Bigfoot stuff. I even have Bigfoot beer. like, so like if I'm getting tired or whatever, I just, ready to kick back, I just pop a beer. No, I won't drink it. I was tripping out on how much Bigfoot stuff that I've collected over the years, ridiculous amount. And I never realized, really, never, because it gets stuffed. I know I have a box of toys somewhere that got sent to me, and they're all signed by the guy that actually designed them and made them. Well, he didn't make them, but actually he did make them. He made the actual prototype that they used to copy to make all the toys, and he carved it out of wax. So first it was a drawing, then it was wax, and I mean, absolutely beautiful. And they're all Bigfoot and Yeti and Luke, whatever that thing is in Louisiana. I remember Brandon Blount. Oh man, dude, are you still having all that stuff going on up there? Yeah, I remember. I remember that. And you have a lot of stuff going on around you where you're at. Rougarou, yeah, the Rougarou. Wow, man. I think I remember you sent me a message saying you were Brandon Blount, and I forget. I have a problem with my memory, and you guys don't get mad at me if I don't remember names like right off, like. But over time, I'll remember. I will, and I'll recognize everybody, especially if they're not really your name. And it's just like a handle, in a chat thing, and I know your real name. Don't get mad at me if I don't associate your chat handle with you right away. Even though back in the day before I got hurt, I can remember everybody's phone numbers. You could tell me numbers, dates, meeting times, everything. I'll remember everything without writing it down. And for years, forever, if you told me. But now I can't do that. That's something I lost that I wish I had back. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. I pray life, healing life into your body, Renee. I command that leukemia to die, that cancer in your blood. I command it to die back to where it came from. I command your body to be healed, whole. In Jesus' name, amen. Tangle Puffoa? Catamounts? Wow. Yeah, we'll pray you back to life, Renee. Even if you die, we'll call your life back in your body. It'll be a miracle. But you're not going to die. Not with all these people praying for you. Man, that's cool. I can't even say that. Tangy Tangifoba. Yeah. My son, my foster son, Odie, Winter's husband, he had a 5% chance to live. He was 18 and he got esophageal cancer. They removed his esophagus from his stomach way down here where the valve is. and brought his stomach up and tied it in up here and took his whole esophagus out. It was solid like this. Not even a drop of water could go through it. They said he had a 5% chance to live, 95% chance to die. And they were saying that it was most likely that we better say our goodbyes to Odie. And Odie is now 49 years old. And that was when he was 18. Believe me, there's miracles when people pray. A lot of people go through these things and they don't have people praying. They don't have that on their side. You have a big, giant bunch of people that are thinking good thoughts, sending white light, and lots of prayers. You have a lot on your side. In fact, everybody in here has that on their side. It isn't something that we all, just one of us has. All of us have access to this. Yeah, don't speak it. That's one of the things I learned, yeah, since my disease and all that stuff. Don't speak things. We actually speak into our life what happens to us. So if we're always constantly negative is what is around us all the time, and then negative begats negative. So then it's like, man, I have the worst luck, or I'm negative, gripe, gritch. Start speaking positive things, and before you know it, it'll start happening. All of a sudden, your luck changes and things start going your way. And never forget to stay positive, because we speak what we believe in our heart, we say. So if you're speaking death and all that, then that's really what you believe. So change that. Start speaking life, abundant, everything abundant. And it'll change your heart. And then you won't help but say positive things, because that's what you believe, because you're experiencing that. And you'll continue to experience it. That's how it goes. Sun's out in Ballymoo. Amen. I love you, Renee. I love every one of you guys. You're the best. You guys have helped me more than you even know. And I was feeling bad for a while there, because I couldn't get on and come and visit with you guys and be online with you. And I was having all these troubles, and I was having floods. The darn sewer was flooding my room and getting poo water all over the bedroom, and we had to fix it. It destroyed the wall. Had to fix the wall. It destroyed the carpet and the padding. I mean, I was working my butt off, and then I couldn't have it in that room, set up in the room. Wife didn't want it in there anymore. I had people living in this bedroom, and they didn't want to leave. They weren't paying rent, and they wouldn't leave. And this is actually where I wanted to set up at, and it's my house. I'm renting it. I couldn't get them out, almost to the point of where I almost had to do an actual eviction to get them out. And finally got them out and started working, but I can't work as fast as my mind's like, back in the day, I could paint a room in a day and do a whole bunch of different work. Now I only have so many things in the day, and I could waste 2 of them just taking a shower. Like, say I have 10 things I can do. Getting out of bed is wasting 1 of them. Not really wasting it, but it takes 1. And then taking a shower takes 1 or 2. So by the time I even get rolling, I only have a few things left that my body is able to do. And I just have to live with it and look positive and think positive. A lot of times I can't even get rolling until I have the meds in me and start working. I have a new patch now that's helping me a lot, and it I was worried about it at first because I didn't want anything to mess up my brain and not let me think. But it doesn't do that, so I'm real happy about that. Wow. That sounds so cool. It's got lightning bugs. I want to see lightning bugs. Someday I'm going to get over there and I'm going to see lightning bugs. I'm telling you, I never seen one in my life. I tried CBD. It really doesn't do anything. I wish it would. And then people tell me turmeric. You know, I mean, I take turmeric. I some things I take just because they're supposed to be good for you. But I never can tell if it's working or not. Like right now, I have a fan blowing. It's hot in here, and this desk has like a hole on the other side, and I have a fan blowing up through here, and it's setting my leg on fire. I can barely sit here, and it feels like the fan is a blowtorch on my leg, and it's driving me nuts. And that's why I gotta go. I gotta get out from in front of that blowtorch, but I can't cover it up because it's too hot, and I can't turn the fan off because it's too hot. So some things you just suffer with, like air conditioning blowing on your in the car and stuff like that. Yeah, and I learned about actually MMJ. There's two kinds. I didn't know that. Uh, I used to be on the fentanyl patch too, but I can't take it. That's where my talk about being a zombie. And it really wasn't killing the pain. The one I'm on right now is actually made for to get you off of pain meds. I can't remember what it's called, but it actually helps better than the pain meds, but it's actually to help you with withdrawals. I'm getting stuck on the with part. Withdrawals. I'll remember. I'll try to remember the name. That I was on so much morphine and those fentanyl that for 2.5 years I don't remember very much, and I thought I was fine, and my insurance ran out. I was not getting Social Security. I was fighting for everything, and my casino insurance ran out. I didn't have any money coming in. I was living here rent free. Not really rent free, but I wasn't paying my bills for 5 years. Five. The landlady could have kicked me out, but she didn't. The power never got shut off. The internet never got shut off. I never starved one day as I fought to get Social Security and Medicare. And they wouldn't let me have, it was before Obamacare, so I didn't have any insurance. When all that ran out, I couldn't get meds. So I was not on any meds. So when the insurance ran out, I went cold turkey off of fentanyl and morphine. Nearly killed me. Took 2 months. 2 months later, I'm sitting there talking with my wife, and she's like looking at me funny, and she says, "Wow, welcome back." I'm like, "What? I never went anywhere. What are you talking about, welcome back?" She goes, "No, welcome back. I haven't seen this part of you in a long, long time." And it was like, whoa. That dawned on me like, man, wow, I don't ever want to go back to that ever again. So now I only take I take now I finally got insurance. I never got kicked out of my house or anything. God supplied every last single thing for me. except for meds. But he kept me alive. And I actually used video games to go into another world, a virtual world, and I escaped my world. Go into Star Wars or WoW or, someplace where I could run and fight and do all kinds of stuff, and it distracted me of my world. That's how I actually dealt with it. But I also learned on the marijuana part, there's two kinds. One kind is indica, and then the other kind is sativa. If I smoke sativa, I get a heart attack, like right away. And I keep having heart attacks until it wears off. And I mean, I went to the ER and I'm having heart attacks. If somebody gives me anything and says, try this, and they don't know what it is, I won't try it. It has to be indica. Indica doesn't cause me to have a heart attack. So I learned right away about that. So I'm really leery of that stuff. So I have to be careful. No, it was on the other side of the world for me, that blood moon thing. Yeah, well, if anybody gives me the kind I can't smoke, you can have all of it. Because I'm afraid I'm going to die. It's no fun having heart attacks, I'm going to tell you right now. That's one of the most scariest things, is because you feel like any second you're going to be gone from here and on the other side. That's how it feels. It's scary. I mean, it doesn't scare me as bad, but the indica sativa, there's a mix sometimes I could take, but if it's got too much sativa in it, then I can't do it. It'll kill me. Yeah. Man, I don't even think I slept when I went off the pain meds, cold turkey. I don't think I slept for 2 weeks. I was in a cold sweat, and then I was in chills, and then I was sweating, and then I was in chills, and my legs wouldn't stop moving, or I felt like I had to move my legs the whole time. I couldn't lay down. Nothing was comfortable, but I made it. I made it through it. And here I am doing a lot better, a lot better. Now I'm tripping out on cigarettes. Like smoking for 45 years, I want to quit. The withdrawals of the cigarettes cause me to have a heart attack. And I can't take the meds that help you quit smoking because I take all these other meds, and there's some meds that has bad side effects when you take the two, so I can't take them. So when if I go a little over 24 hours, I start having heart attacks from not having a cigarette. Can you believe that? I tripped out, and my doctor told me no smoking. You can't stop smoking. You have to keep smoking. But my heart doctor's like, you have to stop smoking. But the nerve doctors and my regular doctor that's been with me for a long time, they're like, don't stop smoking. You're going to die, because the actual disease I have affects your autonomous nervous system. So that's the one that controls your heart beating and the control of your arteries and stuff like that, opening and closing, your breathing, sweating, all that kind of stuff that you can't control. That's what disease I have. If I stop smoking and then I start having withdrawals, it puts that into a spiraling mess and messes me up bad. My heart starts beating all over the place, and it is scary. Start having pain in your chest. I want to quit so bad because I can't afford it, really. I mean, I really can't, but I can't afford not to either. So it really bothers me, really does. And my wife didn't believe me. So the next month when I went to see the doctor, I took my wife with me and I casually said, "Hey, so about that quitting smoking." And I told him that, and he went, "We talked about this. You can't quit smoking. It'll kill you." My wife was sitting there, was like, "What?" She never heard that in her life. Every doctor you ever see tells you have to quit. But it blew her away that I can't quit. And I'm not really like a chew kind of guy either. I'm already losing my teeth from meds. The meds are messing up my teeth. They dry out everything. Everything's all dry. So you got to have saliva and stuff like that in your mouth. If you don't have it, it starts destroying your teeth. And then the problem I have, I went to the dentist. I have to have a blood thinner for the stents. If I go 3 days without the blood thinner, I'll start having heart attacks because the stents will start clogging up because it has something in it that makes the stent slippery or allows the blood to flow through it and will not stick to the stent. But it also will make you'll bleed out. If they pull your teeth out, you can't clot. So you'll bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed. And they don't know what to do yet about that. So I'm like really messed up in the mouth, really messed up, like teeth wise. It's jacking me up. Yeah, I thought about rolling my own. I really did. Yeah, it so sucks, man. It sucks to be me, but you want like this is probably the last time I'll talk about it on here, unless you guys want to talk about it. I'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Like at first, I wanted to talk about Bigfoot. That's what we talked about. And this last 45 minutes or so, we've been talking about what you guys want to talk about. And that's that I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. It's important to me because you guys really are my friends. I was telling Adolf when we were out, I don't have friends. I have Adolf and I have Kev and I have a whole bunch of friends online though. A bunch. Never met them. Not, face to face hardly. But I consider every one of you guys really good friends. And that might seem weird, but I do consider you that. I don't know. I thought about the vape. I need to talk to my doctor about it because the vapes are chemicals. And his son, the doctor's son, recently was vaping, and you get more addicted to the vape thing, and pretty soon you're like sucking in all this vapor and then, like a freaking steam engine, and his lungs got pneumonia and filled all up, and he almost lost a lung from vape. So I don't know, I asked him about the vape, and he's like not for the vape at all. Wait, I'm losing the chat. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it says. Wait here. No, Chris, you're one of my friends. I have Chris and Adolf and Kev, but most everybody is online. I don't have a lot of friends that I hang out with. I mean, like hanging out all the time, friends, everyday kind of friend. I don't have a lot of. I don't have I hang out more like online friends. Yeah, I think so too. But I got to get going though, because I know my wife. I told her I was going to do an hour. Here we are at an hour and 48 minutes. See, I like this so much, you guys. I could sit here really for 3 hours and without any problem at all. I think you guys are the best. Ah, man, thank you, El Shepherd. You guys. No, that's two of them tonight. You guys just are rocking my world, and I appreciate that. A while back, I thought I don't need. I would rather not take from people, and but then I started thinking about the cost of like I really can't afford the internet. I was fighting with ATT yesterday on the cost of the internet. And then they shut down on me all the time. It's like $100 a month for the internet, and they make me have a telephone, even though we don't use it. So it's like $105 a month, and I was thinking, no, I got this. I don't need help. But only when you only make $850 a month, and the internet is costing you $105, and then I want like a drone and stuff there's things I still want. I'm thinking, gee, does it hurt? And then God dealt with me. I was praying about it. God dealt with me. He's like, what if I put it on their heart to give like he does me? He puts it on my heart to help people like Jeff. And I go and help and I help and I help. I mean, I don't have much, but I give what I can and do what I can. And it's a blessing to me, right? A blessing to me. It blesses me. So who am I to stop? If you're doing something and you're doing it out of like how I do it, out of my heart, and it makes me feel good and I get blessed, who am I to tell everybody not to? I rather pray that you get blessed abundantly for your generosity, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate it like no other, and I pray that you're abundantly blessed for everything that you do over and above what you have to, and I love you guys. Even just tuning in. Like right now, I found out I can't even get my YouTube money anymore until they can let me into my AdSense account. So I have the money sitting there, but only I lost the password of my hard drive died, and I lost the password of my administrator email account. Even though I have everything to get into it, I don't have the phone anymore. The phone number where they can send you a text. But they could send me an email and I could get the little code and type it in there, and they say that's not enough. It has to be 2 steps. It's like, what? The picture's me. The picture's the same. In fact, on the AdSense account, there's only 2 emails. The one I'm using right now where they could see me talking on YouTube, and the other one where I can't remember the password. So they're not letting me in, and they are collecting my money to do what? I have no idea until I can figure out how to get into it again. It's making me mad. I've been going after them. Yeah, and then they knocked the amount I made off of it. I was making sometimes this every once in a while like 400, and it really helped. I mean, I did my brakes on my car. There were some things I needed to do. Like right now, I need a timing belt and an oil change and something else. I just did the O2 sensors with the last YouTube money, but now they're gonna hold it, and there's no way you can't call Google. That's what I was telling you guys earlier. Make sure your Google, if you have Gmail, make sure the phone number's right, and the internet that you use, or the other Gmail account or email account, for in case you lose your password, make sure they're all up to date. Because if you lose your password and you don't have both of those things, you can't get in there, and you can't call them, you can't write them, you can't email them, you can't Pony Express them, you can't snail mail them, you can't telegraph them, you can't do anything about it. All you could do is try to fill out that password recovery thing and hope you remember the password. And never again am I going to save my password on one hard drive. Now I have it on multiple hard drives in case one fails. I have it on another hard drive. No more. Like, I didn't know. I never thought, at all. I had it written down somewhere, but it's in a box somewhere. I got 100 zillion boxes sitting around my house right now. I have no idea what little piece of paper it is, where, it's crazy. It is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down to like something like $6 a month on YouTube. They don't pay you until you make 100. But I heard like they let me check my YouTube site. I'm at $58 or something. I still have like 42 more dollars to go to reach the threshold to get paid. Only now they're not going to let me have it until my administrator account can click that I agree with their policy changes. That's the only thing holding me back, is my administrator account, the one that I lost the password to, has to click that I agree to their policy changes. But they won't help me recover the account. Like, they're snots. Wow, Glacier National Park. I want to go. That sounds like fun. I have it written down. It's in a box. I told my wife I'm going to start digging in boxes tomorrow. I'll find it, hopefully. Man, I used to work on cars. I know I could do it. I can't do it, though. I know I can't. I did the starter, and it took me 2 weeks. And that used to be like a 2-hour, 3-hour job for me. And it took me 2 weeks to change the starter. And I started realizing, you know what? I can't work on cars anymore. One of my favoriteest things to do is work on cars. And I can't do it anymore. Barely. I know I was trying to change the spark plugs on this thing, front wheel drive. Ugh. I can't sit there long enough. Just like I can't hardly sit here long enough. Like I got to get up and walk around here pretty soon. I used to live in Torrance. I lived in Torrance when the Sylmar quake happened. Everybody remember that quake? Yeah, it's good to do that. Like right now, I have a briefcase now that I keep, and I'm writing all that stuff down and putting it in the briefcase. The only sad part is, like, I like to change my passwords every 30 days or so because the hackers are really out there. They're trying to steal everybody's identity. I did computers. Yep, 1971 Sylmar quake wrecked our house. That's when we moved to Yosemite. Actually, we lived up here and then we moved down there. My dad had a job driving buses around the airport, around and around and around. And the Sylmar quake, and we moved back up here to Yosemite, and he was driving the bus from Yosemite to Merced and back every day. That was his job until he became a sheriff, and then we moved to Fresno, and there we stayed as he became a sheriff, retired a sheriff too. That's pretty good, Bolt Gun. See, I used to always remember everything. This wasn't a problem until I got hurt. Now that I got hurt, I can't remember anything at all. It's annoying when I was the director of 3 different departments in the casino, and I had an assistant for each department, like a secretary slash assistant that filed and typed and did memos and did all that stuff for me, and kept my supposedly kept my calendar and had everything written down. And I would forget to tell them to put things on my calendar because I can remember it. I can remember the appointments and the times and the phone numbers and the days, everything for a year for all three departments. And I never would forget anything. I wouldn't forget people's names, phone numbers, anything. I actually would remember everything. And I could read 1,280 words a minute. I can't do that anymore either. I wish I could, but I can't. So I can't remember, and I can't read that fast anymore. Yep. That's what it did to me too. Actually, we were in bed and our beds are sliding across the room, Chris. Boom. And then they would go back across and hit the wall and then go back and boom and then go back across. That was the most wildest earthquake I ever been in, except for the one in 1968 in Coachella, visiting my uncle in Coachella. Oh man, there was a good shaker down there. I was looking out the window and the trees were going like this. And we didn't even know if we wanted to stay in the house. Everybody was like running for cover under coffee tables and doors, you know. That was crazy too. And long and loud. Oh my God. Yeah, well, I'm walking in the fog. I'm oblivious. I walk around in the fog all day long. No. Oh, yeah, you better write everything down just in case they do an update and then you can't get in. Oh, man. uh, I'm about to turn 60, so we'll find out. I'll let you know. You know, I'll let you know how them 60s work. I only got a few more months, and February I turned 60. And Odie, the one that had the cancer I was telling you earlier, that's 49, he's going to turn 50 in February. Wow. Oh, man. I used to fear it. I don't like how it feels. There's actually a feel to getting old. You know what I mean? It isn't like a frame of mind or anything. It's actually, you feel that thing. Oh, man. You start trying to get out of bed, just trying to get off the bed, and you start realizing that there's something different. Oh, man. That's so funny. Well, you guys, I need to get out of here. It has been great. I love you guys. I'm going to get on here a lot more. I'm telling you, you're going to go, "Oh my God, is he doing that again?" Only I'm getting all set up. I'll be a lot more on, and I have a whole lot to share, really. I got boxes full of stuff. I'm going to be like doing little vignettes, is that what you call it, with the camera. I'm going to take off and go out here probably in a week or two and have some more stuff that I edit and bring. I hope you guys enjoy the edited stuff as well as the live stuff. I promise no more live orange moons. I just thought it was so neat until I realized that it was pretty and all that, but man, when you really let that sink in. There's a lot of people running for their lives right now because of that orange moon, you know. Anyways, I'll let you all go. I love you guys, and I got you in my prayers. I'm telling you, every night, I pray for you. Everyone that hears my voice, that tunes this in, I don't care if you're a regular or if you just happen to hear me and you hear me say I'm praying for you, that's you, all of you, every single one of you. I love you guys.